You are about to enter the most powerful place in ancient history, the Imperial Palace of Rome. From Messalina's secret banquets to the conspiracies that decided the fate of empires, I will show you corners that even the emperors dared not reveal. Are you ready? They say power has a scent. It is not the incense that perfumes the altars, nor the oil that embalms the bodies of the gods. It is something more subtle. It floats in the air when you cross the threshold of a place like this. Come, follow me. Do not be afraid of getting lost. I will guide you. You are fortunate. Not many have had the privilege of walking by my side through these halls that know the secrets of the empire. You are about to cross the border between the world of men and that of the gods. This is my home, the Imperial Palace. And although many call it the Palace of Claudius, the walls whisper another name: mine. We are on top of the Palatine Hill. From here, Rome seems to stretch out like an ocean of stone and marble, a forest of columns and red roofs that pierce the sky. But you have not come to look at Rome. You have come to know the blood that runs through its veins. Every hall, every garden, every shadow in here is part of a larger body. I know it as I know my own skin. Let me show you. We move slowly.
Dear time travelers and lovers of eternal stories, I am Messalina, and I have a little secret for you. The gods reward those who support their favorite storytellers. If this corner of myths, legends and mysteries has sparked your curiosity, I invite you to follow my channel and activate the bell so you don't miss a single trip through time. And if you want this legacy to grow and continue exploring together the greatness of Rome and beyond, you can leave your offering on PayPal or Patreon. The links are in the description, because even the gods know that any help allows for the forging of eternal works. I promise you that if you do, the gods will bring you peace, prosperity, and perhaps a little touch of fate. Your gestures do not go unnoticed, and my gratitude will be as infinite as time itself.
The main entrance is guarded by two colossal statues of Mars and Minerva. Their onyx eyes seem to follow your steps. It is not an illusion. Here, nothing is accidental. We enter the vestibulum, the vestibule that precedes the domains of my husband. The white marble columns rise to a sky painted deep blue with golden stars. Below your feet, the mosaic floor depicts the protective gods of our house: Jupiter, Mars, Venus. The air smells of incense and myrrh. This is where the senators wait, restless, before being summoned before the emperor. I pass through here without looking at them. My gaze is worth more than their life. We continue. The atrium opens before us like a stage set to amaze you. It is spacious, bright, with an impluvium in the center where rainwater falls into a black marble pool. The reflections of the torches dance on the surface. Around, frescoes on the walls show scenes of the founding of Rome. Romulus and Remus suckled by the she-wolf. Aeneas carrying his father from burning Troy. My favorite is the one of Venus rising from the sea. Her skin seems so real that it could breathe if I wanted it to. The private rooms are hidden behind bronze doors. We are not going there yet. There are more important places to show you first. We turn to the right and cross the peristyle, an interior garden surrounded by Corinthian columns. Here my husband strolls in the mornings, when the mist still covers the laurels. The flowers are brought from all the provinces: lilies from Egypt, roses from Parthia, daffodils from Hispania. The scent is intoxicating. It is no coincidence. Nature here has been tamed to obey our will. The white marble fountains shoot jets of water in perfect arcs. The goldfish swim in the ponds, fed by slaves who know no other task than to keep them beautiful and alive. The regal hall awaits us. The throne room. When you enter, take a deep breath. The grandeur can overwhelm you if you're not prepared. The cypress doors open and reveal a rectangular nave supported by red and black columns. The floor is an intricate mosaic depicting Rome's victory over chaos. Here, my husband sits on his throne of ivory and gold, while the ambassadors bow before him. But I know the truth. Before he sits, before he speaks, it is I who decides what should be done. And as I silently slide behind those columns, I can sense the fear in their voices as they pledge their loyalty. Automated female voice. To the left of the Aula Regia is the Tablinum. Here, the documents of the empire are kept. The scrolls with the decrees signed by Claudius. The letters from the governors of Syria, Hispania, Africa. Here the freedmen write day and night. Narcissus, Pallas, and Callistus. Those men who think they control the empire occupy their places with serious expressions. I pass by here often. I make sure that my own names are on the lists of those who owe favors. A word from me, a gesture, and everything changes. We keep walking, and the air changes. The fragrance of flowers gives way to incense and myrrh. We approach the temple of Apollo. This is the private sanctuary of Claudius, although it is here where I feel truly powerful. The columns are covered in gold leaf. The statues of Apollo, Diana, and Latona rise on altars where the fire never goes out. On full moon nights, I offer secret sacrifices. The priestesses do not ask, "Do you know that sometimes there are ancient gods who still listen to our prayers?" Gods that the Senate prefers to forget. We are now heading to my private chambers. But don't enter yet. I want to show you the main triclinium first. This hall is the mouth of the palace, the place where the empire devours and lets itself be devoured. Here we organize the imperial banquets. The tables, long like rivers, are covered with purple tapestries embroidered in gold. The dishes bring delicacies from distant places: flamingo tongues, grapes as sweet as the honey of Asia, dates from Libya. The cups are made of blown glass from Alexandria, tinted deep blue. The musicians play the lyre and the aulos. The Persian dancers glide like serpents to the rhythm of the drums. When the ceiling opens, a rain of rose petals, or pearls, falls, if fancy dictates. It is here where I have seen men fall into disgrace without knowing it. A word spoken by me while I drink spiced wine, and the praetorians arrive at dawn at their domus with swords drawn. Now then, come with me. My rooms are in the western wing of the palace, away from the gaze of the Senate and the soldiers. Here the decoration changes. The walls are covered with frescoes of Aphrodite, and the mosaic floors are so delicate they seem like carpets. My cubiculum is spacious, the bed adorned with Parthian silks and swan feather cushions. There are polished bronze mirrors that reflect my image multiplied. At the foot of the bed, a small private altar where perpetual lamps burn dedicated to Venus Genetrix and gods whose names I will not speak aloud. My Greek slaves comb my hair here at dawn. Some are experts in massages, others in preparing ointments and perfumes that cover me from neck to feet. Here, I have received night visits that only the walls know, and those walls, believe me, remain silent. Not far from my chambers is the balneum, the private baths of the emperor and his family. Fed by the Aqua Claudia aqueduct, the pools fill with hot and cold water. The caldarium, the tepidarium, and the frigidarium are decorated with mosaics depicting Nereids and Tritons. The scented steam fills the air, and slaves pour aromatic oils into the waters. I immerse myself here after twilight, when the palace falls silent and the shadows are longer. Under the water, the skin looks like marble, and the outside world ceases to exist. Near the baths, the palace's private gym receives the young patricians who wish to train their bodies. It's not my favorite place, although I recognize the beauty of bodies in motion. There, future senators sweat and fight, hoping to please the emperor. Some seek something more, something they sometimes find when the shadows are favorable. I will now show you one of the palace's most secret places, the underground passages. There are hidden entrances in the walls of the Domus Augustana, concealed behind statues or false columns. These tunnels allow escape in case of danger or bring in visitors without anyone knowing. I have used them. I still use them. In their walls, you can sense the echoes of other lives, of other empires. Sometimes I think the ancient gods still walk through them. The Imperial Archive is located in the south wing. Here, the censuses, the treasury accounts, the lists of names to be spoken and public sacrifices are kept. Some say that Claudius spends more time here than on the throne. I don't blame them. Numbers do not betray, but I prefer the warmth of life to the coldness of numbers. Even so, I review the scrolls that interest me, and always find what I seek. We now move to the public lararium. Here, citizens who have access to the palace leave their offerings to the lares and penates, small statuettes, flowers, bronze coins. It is a simple place but loaded with faith. The slaves keep it clean. I sometimes leave a flower here, like someone tossing a drop of water into the sea. But faith is a power that can be shaped, and I know how to shape it. When the palace is engulfed in the silence of the night, there are places where the power concentrates even more densely than under the midday sun. Accompany me without fear. I will show you places that ordinary men will never see. Those who did rarely return to the surface world. Down here, at the edges of the palace, time stands still, and the names of the gods acquire another meaning. First, we will go to Claudio's private chambers. Are you surprised that I have free access? Nothing happens in the palace without me knowing. Not even the emperor, though many believe otherwise, escapes my eyes. His chambers are so simple that it's unusual for a man who rules the world. There is little gold here. Its walls are decorated with scenes from ancient Rome, the story of Numa Pompilius, the laws of the 12 tables, and a mosaic of the Capitoline wolf. His books, rolled up on dark wooden shelves, surround him like silent guardians. Claudio sits every morning at his walnut desk, his deformed fingers, the same that tremble in public audiences, firmly hold the calamus. He writes history as others write death sentences. He doesn't know that I watch him from the half-open door. Sometimes, his gaze gets lost in the distance, and he murmurs the name of his mother, Antonia. In those moments, he is not an emperor. He is just a scared man. And I love him for that. Or, perhaps because of the power his fear gives me. Not far away is the hall of the Concilium Principis, the private council. Here, the decisions of the empire are forged like swords in the forge. The freedmen Narciso, Pallas, and Callistus sit to the right of Claudius, the most reliable senators on the left. I, invisible to them, am always present. The words spoken here can determine the fate of an entire province. Cities will be destroyed or saved according to the mood of the council. It is in this room where we decide the fate of Britannia, where we approve citizenship for the Gauls, where the betrayal of the proconsuls is discussed. Claudius listens, nods, or shakes his head while his fingers drum on the arm of the chair. When he wants to, he can be feared. But, when he hesitates, is it I who pushes him to decide? Not with words. A single look is enough. Sometimes, after the council, Claudius allows performances in the private theater of the palace. It is a discreet place, with perfect proportions. The cave accommodates the closest guests. The seats upholstered in red leather are soft. The stage is decorated with painted linen backdrops, showing mythological scenes. The Judgment of Paris, the Fury of the Erinyes, the Feats of Hercules. Here I have seen performances of Aeschylus' tragedies and Plautus's comedies. Claudio laughs quietly. I laugh when I want others to notice my presence. The actors fear my silence more than the emperor's applause. And when the show ends, some leave through the main doors, while others receive invitations for a more intimate meeting. Don't ask what kind. This is the Palace of Rome. Morality is a mask worn in public and thrown to the ground in private. Now let's go down to the palace kitchens, a place where abundance is the norm. It is a world in itself. Hundreds of men and women work tirelessly. Shouts are heard in Greek, Egyptian, and vulgar Latin. The sharp knives gleam in the light of the ovens. Fires burn day and night. The bakers knead the whitest flour brought from Cappadocia. The cooks prepare poultry meats that are only raised in Numidia, and the master confectioners mold honey sweets that resemble works of art. The freshest fish arrive alive from the port of Ostia, and are kept in private ponds until the exact moment of sacrifice. It is here where I personally choose the dishes that will be served at the banquets. My taste is known, feared, and envied. No one dares to present a wine that has not first passed my lips. Sometimes, when desire overtakes me, I organize secret banquets away from Claudius's eyes. The guests arrive through the palace tunnels. Young senators, sons of consuls, renowned charioteers, poets desperate for a favor. The room is small, illuminated only by scented oil lamps. The food is served in silence while the music of lyres and flutes envelops the space. Sometimes there are games, sometimes challenges require more than skill in drinking or reciting verses. But that is a secret only revealed to those who cross that door. Do you want to cross it? But not everything is celebration in this palace. There are places where light does not reach. I will now take you to the hidden dungeons, where the sound of screams is drowned in the stone walls. Here are imprisoned those who disobey the emperor, or me. The dungeons are narrow, damp, and the air smells of dried blood. There are cells where the prisoner can stand, or never stand at all. Some spend days, others weeks. Few survive the winter. Here the torturers are experts in the art of extracting true or false confessions. Sometimes Claudio does not ask about them. Sometimes, neither do I. Let us return to the light, to the atrium of the imperial portraits. This place is solemn. The statues of Augustus, Tiberius and Germanicus line up in a circular portico. Claudius spends the afternoons here offering wine and libation to his mother Antonia and his grandmother Livia. This space bores me, but I recognize its beauty. The shadows cast by the faces of our ancestors seem to move with the rhythm of the sun. Here the lineage is preserved. But lineage is not everything. I decide the power. The art gallery is located at the northern end of the palace. Sculptures brought from Greece, frescoes from the Alexandrian school, mosaics from Carthage. Claudio boasts of his collection. I admire the statues of Aphrodite and Artemis, although I prefer those representing Bacchus. There is a bust of me sculpted by an artist from Rhodes. It is the only one I allow, because the rest fail to capture my true essence. The stone is cold, but I am alive. As the day bids farewell, we ascend to the upper terraces of the palace. The view is infinite. Rome stretches as far as the eye can see. The sacred hills, the Tiber reflecting the last gleam of the sun. The columns of the Forum shine with a golden hue, and as the stars appear one by one in the sky, I return to my rooms, close the door, And look at my reflection in the mirrors. The Queen of Rome. The Empress of the senses and power. Everything you have seen is mine. Everything I have shown you lives because I allow it. This is the Imperial Palace, where the destiny of Rome was forged. But what I just showed you is only the beginning. Do you want to discover the hidden secrets of the torture chambers and the Medallion of Time? Subscribe and activate the bell to be notified when the next video is released.